Hi! In this video, we're going to cover how to perform input polling using the Unity input system. So, what does input polling mean? Input polling is directly checking the values received from a given input device, like a keyboard, controller, or mouse. We can check whether or not a specific input has been pressed, held, or released on a given frame, and can have code execute based on if it did. For example, I could poll a keyboard so that whenever the spacebar is pressed, the player character jumps in-game. Or, I could poll a mouse to have a spaceship fire a missile towards where the player clicks on the screen. In this video, we'll specifically cover polling from a keyboard, as that makes up the majority of input polling we will perform in this course. But keep in mind that nearly every input device you can think of is supported by Unity and can be polled in a similar way. Here in the CodeHS editor, I have a script called keyboard input. The purpose of this script is to poll the keyboard. In the update method, we check every frame whether the player is pressing any of the arrow keys or any of the WASD keys, and if they are, the sprite will move around the screen based on the key that is being pressed. Let's go over this script and how we are polling the inputs. The first thing to note is that, at the top of the script, we have using Unity engine.input system. Remember, whenever we utilize a Unity API, we need to declare it at the top of the script. And since we're using functions from the input system API, we will always need this line at the top, or Unity will error. Next, we can see we have a float variable here named speed. This will dictate the speed at which the sprite moves. We can see that it's a public variable, meaning we can easily change the value in the Unity inspector if we want. The start function of this script is empty, so let's skip past that. And the majority of our code is within the update function. The first thing to note is this if statement here. Keyboard.current is a function of the input system API and allows us to easily poll the keyboard being used by the player. However, what if the player is playing with a controller on a gaming console and does not have a keyboard plugged in? If we attempt to read from the current keyboard and there is not a keyboard to check, the game will crash. Because of this, it is very important that we always make sure an input device is present and active before polling its inputs. So we can see that we check if keyboard.current, and these two equal signs just means is equal to, and then the word null. So, if the current keyboard is equal to null, meaning there is not one plugged in, then we run this code, which is the word return. Return is basically just a way to exit out of a script early. So rather than continuing to this code below, we exit out of the update function this frame. This prevents our game from ever crashing if a keyboard is not plugged in. Once a keyboard is plugged in, we can execute this code. You can see we have a float variable set here, as well as a couple if statements. This xInput variable starts at 0, meaning no movement, and our inputs will modify that value. In our first if statement, we can see we're polling the keyboard.current and checking if the right arrow key on the keyboard is pressed. In the if statement below, we can see the exact same code, except we are polling the left arrow key. If the right arrow key is pressed, we increase the x input by 1 to move right. And if we are pressing the left arrow key, we decrease the x input by 1 to move left. To the right of these checks, we also have these two vertical lines. These are how we denote OR in an if statement. So if this is true or this is true, we will execute the code. We can see that we're checking the D and A keys on the keyboard. The W, A, S, and D keys are commonly used as movement keys in games. So by polling the arrow keys or the WASD keys, we allow players to still play our game regardless of which input method they prefer. Down here, we can see very similar if statements, except we are polling the up and down arrow keys and the W and S keys. These then change our Y input value, which controls our sprite moving up and down. Finally, we take our X input and Y input values and put them into a vector2 to set a movement direction. And then we perform transform.translate to move our sprite based on direction, speed, and time.delta time. Delta time is basically just a way to keep movement consistent regardless of the frame rate of the device. We'll cover delta time a bit more in depth later on. Now that you know how input polling works, and how we've set up our script to pull the keyboard, it's your turn to download and test the script.